Welcome back. Another football review. I am so sorry about this picture in the background. I cannot get this camera to line up properly with it, so it looks like it's like slanted. Anyway, cleaning the carpet in the studio today. We are reviewing another ball I got from Big Game USA. This is the Adidas Dime. I got this in red. It comes in blue or white or a bunch of other colors. I'll put them up on the screen here. This is the ball that a lot of American colleges use as their default ball. I got to tell you, this ball is sick. It feels so good in your hand, and I think it's a little smaller than some of the other balls I have. But we'll talk about all that. First and foremost, again, Big Game USA. Thank you for shipping this to me in Canada. I know it's a bit of a pain. If you guys are in Canada or outside of the Big Game USA normal shipping zones, they'll still send you this stuff. You just have to kind of talk to them and get their feedback and support in making sure you get the stuff to your door. Because, like I said, they don't naturally or natively ship to your stuff or to your address if you're not in the States on their website, but they will ship it to you. They'll just have to give you a price. So let's talk about the ball. First things first, laces. As you guys can see, lace footprint is very nice. It's it feels like a little more ratio wise than you might see on other balls. And of course, as I like to mention, they have the nice nubs on the end lengthwise to keep that last lace from slipping off. The laces are dimpled, though not quite as deep as the Wilson ACL laces. I think these feel a little nicer on your hands. They don't protrude quite as much from the top of the ball. And so you'll notice that it's easier to kind of get your hands on them. If you want to go 2 fingers on the laces and 1 on the stripe, you can. If you want to go 1 finger on the lace, 1 on the stripe, and 1 on the tip, you can. The spacing on this ball is done well. Clearly a well-designed, well-engineered ball made by Big Game USA in the States, like I mentioned. So laces, great. Love that. Leather, incredible. This is some of the best out of the box leather I've ever felt. I broke in a little bit with a brush and just some throwing into a net that I have. The team issue dual threat, that was a really nice feeling ball too. But this feels great right out of the box. You can honestly deflate this and play with it. Your receivers would not complain. Listen to this. That's without any break-in, without any brushing. I've not handled this outside. It's not been on the grass. It's brand new, and it sounds like that. So let's talk now about the length of the ball. This ball feels a little more narrow lengthwise than the dual threat, which is to be expected. I think the dual threat, to make up for the dip being so severe, has to be a little longer, which is fine. You will appreciate that when you hold it. This ball feels a little smaller than the GST, though side by side, I'm not 100% sure that it is. And when I look at this ball, one of the things I notice right away is the feel of the ball. Like I said, at the midline, the midline doesn't feel quite as girthy as the other balls do. So my hands are pretty small. I could get 2 fingers on there pretty easily, plus 1 on the stripe, and even a third on the tip here. Just my pinky finger on the lace to give a little more support if you're throwing on the run or throwing one-handed. It's clear why American colleges use this, because I think there's got to be some NFHS rule being bent here, honestly, but I'm not 100% sure exactly what that rule might be. It just feels like a small ball. Let's go to the stitching now. We'll talk about the striping, of course, as well. The stitching, very well done. This is a well-made ball. The stitching is nice and thick. It's half on the stripe overlay and half on the leather. Gives you a lot of texture when you're throwing that ball. You're going to really like the way this feels in your hand. And it's a nice raised stitching to go with the leather overlay or to go with the stripe overlay. It feels really good. This is a high quality ball. The striping itself, man, you really can't beat this. This is what the Vapor One tried to do. Okay, they tried to use a material that wasn't leather and wasn't rubber, but met somewhere in the middle. I think this is a composite material as well, but it is very sticky. Listen to that. It's very sticky. And it, like I said, it doesn't come up off the ball in such a way that really negatively affects the girth. Oh God, you can see this cut on my finger. Rough day yesterday. Anyway, so the couldn't have been that rough. It's not that big a cut. But the ball here, the striping, you'll notice just does not create extra girth on the ball. And this is a difficult thing to replicate. The GST Prime, the Vapor One, all the balls I have with the raised stitching, even the Omega, which I will do a review of eventually, the stitching, the striping is quality, but it's too high on the ball. And so when you want a ball that sits in your hands really nicely, you don't get it when the striping is too high because it adds too much girth. And I realize this is like a nitpicky problem, but I got to tell you, man, if you're paying $150 for a ball, you want the ball to feel great. This one feels very good. I honestly think that I could throw this uh, almost anywhere, off the lace, on the lace, thanks to the striping, thanks to the leather. It's very soft. The brush on this is going to be incredible. And I just want to note the attention to detail here. In the Nike Vapor One review, I think I mentioned this, but you'll see this in other reviews, or if you bought that ball, you'll notice it. The stamp for the logo and the stamp for the barcode and the stamp for the Nike text, none of it feels good. It doesn't feel finished. It doesn't feel complete. It's different color. Some of it is raised or coming off. I've had that ball twice. Once I bought it from Litson's here in Ontario, like in my area, in the Hamilton area. Once I bought it on Amazon. It was on both balls. So I know that the quality control is not great. Compare that to the Dime. Look at this. This is incredible. This is a mass-produced ball. Mind you, not as mass-produced as the Vapor One, but there's not even like a nick, a raise, nothing. The thing looks incredible. And as I mentioned, it's no wonder why American colleges choose this ball more often than not. I mean, it's this one of the Vapor Elite these days, which I still have to review. But I got to tell you, man, if you're thinking about buying a ball from Big Game, you're not sure about the team issue because it's a brand you don't know. You're not sure about the Vapor Elite because it's a little expensive. You don't want to make a custom one. This is it. I think it's $124. I'll put it on the screen. That's US. You really can't beat this ball. The only thing I can't comment on is whether or not the longevity of the ball is good. The leather feels great. The stitching feels great. The striping feels great. The laces are well made, well applied. I don't think I'm going to have a problem playing with this ball, specifically not if I'm not playing tackle. Like I'm playing touch football. Half the season is inside. I think I'm going to be able to use this ball for a long time. I'll just also note these guys talk about the leather being this brown playoff leather. Listen to how this sounds out of the box. Are you kidding me? That's very, very soft. I did the stick test earlier. It's very, very soft leather. Like I said, the brush, you may not even need to brush this. I'm going to brush it just to see what it feels like. But I got to tell you guys, this is a 10 out of 10 ball. This is a 10 out of 10 ball. Everything you want in a ball, the striping, the stitching, the finish, the laces, the attention to detail, and the weight. This ball feels really nice in your hand, really nice to throw. 10 out of 10. Big Game USA is where you can get this. I'm sending these guys all kinds of business now because I'm buying my stuff there, and it's just the best place to get a ball that I've seen. Even better than Litson's here in Ontario, which Litson's is the only game in town when it comes to football stuff, especially when it comes to balls. So this is really, really high quality. We'll compare it to the Vapor Elite. We'll compare it to the Omega at some point. But for now, yeah, I would say this is a 10 out of 10. Questions, comments, you know what to do. Put them in the bottom, add them to the replies, and talk to you soon, man. Happy throwing.